Hey everybody, Tom here, and today I want to teach you how to play Whistle Mountain. Now, Whistle Mountain is a game that I actually kind of avoided for a while because the look of it and the name of it kept making me think that this was either an expansion to or a sequel to Whistle Stop, a game which I'm sure is fine. But as I was deciding if I wanted Whistle Stop and I watched playthroughs and stuff like that, I just decided it wasn't a game I was really interested in. It didn't feel like it was going to add anything to my collection. So I just ignored this. And then I don't remember how it happened, but on Twitter, if you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter. But on Twitter, I started to see people showing pictures of the board, and there was some stuff happening on the board that made me it made me pause and say, wait, what is going on in this game? And then I started to watch a playthrough, I did more investigating, and I was like, holy cow, this game has a lot of stuff that I really like. This game has nothing to do with Whistle Stop, other than one of the resources is a whistle. But it's cool. So I actually went out and bought it, and then upon opening, I noticed that there was a ton of pieces, which, okay, but specifically there was zero storage solution for it. And the reason why I'm telling you this really boring story is I went ahead and created my own do-it-yourself storage solution, which you can find and make and print yourself for free. To find more information, you can go ahead and visit my website at tomteachesgames.com. It'll have you can find the links on where to download the PDFs and instructions on how to make stuff and all of that. And I'm specifically mentioning that because in this video, you're going to see those boxes that I created, because not only do they store the game in the box, I'm going to use most of those boxes in the gameplay. So for example, you see these stars over here. These stars are all victory points, and I'm keeping them in these boxes that I've created. Or right here we have these pieces are called scaffolds, and I keep them in the box while I'm playing just because it keeps the piles from falling over. Or up here you could see this box holding the upgrade tiles, because I guess the idea is that there's so many stacks of things on this game, or for this game, on the board, that storing those and then putting them on the board, I just didn't want to deal with it. So the way it is now is basically these boxes all have lids, and you just, when you're ready to play the game, you just take the lid off, and here you go. You've got a stack of tiles ready to draw right there. So if you're interested in downloading and making those boxes, go visit my website. I just wanted you to be aware that you're going to be seeing those in the gameplay. They don't come with the game. That's something that I've created. So with all of that out of the way, welcome to Whistle Stop. We're going to be doing a two-player game by me. We've got our blue player over here and our red player. Now, it can feel like there's a lot going on, and probably because there is. But once you learn in general what's going on, I do think that what's happening is kind of intuitive, and it's really neat because there is enough different stuff going on that you can really make this game what you want it to be. So here we are, Whistle Stop. We could pretend like there's a theme. There's a mountain and a train track here, whatever. But essentially what's going to happen in the game is, as players, we're going to be taking these scaffold pieces and putting them on the grid, kind of Tetris style. And then when there's enough scaffold pieces to hold a machine, some workers are going to help us build these machine pieces onto the scaffolds, and that's going to help us kind of create this really fascinating worker placement, engine building hybrid, and I've never really seen anything quite like it. And so there's a lot to digest. Why don't we go ahead? I'm going to bring you closer to the blue player. He's going to be our starting player, and I'm going to start to teach you what's happening in this game. So here we have the player board, and what I wanted to point out is every player starts with one special ability. So the blue player, they're going to be the Riveter, and we'll talk more about what that special ability means in a second. But I wanted to point out some things we've got going on over here. There are 5 resources in the game. There's water, iron, gold, coal, and whistles. Throughout the game, we're going to be collecting these different resources and spending the resources to do various things. You're going to notice these interesting shapes cut out. We're going to talk more about that later, but basically these are spots for upgrades. So we're going to be able to use these resources to buy upgrades to help ourselves become stronger. This is a worker placement game, and I think for players new to this game, they might get a little bit confused because usually meeples, things like this, are what's used for the worker placement aspect. But that's not really what's happening here. These are called workers, but they're not going to do what we traditionally think of as the worker roles in a worker placement game. That's what these airships are for over here, and they all have fancy names. Well, I guess this one has a fancy name. This is our air balloon, a blimp, and this is the dreadnought. So these 3 airships are the workers. Essentially, we have 3 workers of these different sizes. If you were normally playing this by sitting at a table, these ships would be docked right here. But just to really emphasize how cool these pieces are, when these are at the board, I'll be laying them down like this. And when we actually place them, I'll be standing them upright. But for now, I just want you to see. Every player basically has these 3 workers, and they're 3 different sizes, and that will end up mattering. You could see a very similar setup over here for the red player. They've got their 3 airships, workers, and they have these starting resources, and because they're the second player, they're going to start with an additional water, and the red player in this game is going to be the technician. Again, we'll talk more about that later when it makes more sense. In this game, anytime you see a star, that's victory points. So at the end of the game, the person with the most victory points is going to be the winner. And for the most part, those will come in the form of these tokens. There's going to be some end of game points that I'll point out later. But basically, if you see a star, especially these tokens, those are victory points that we're aiming for. So probably a good place to start to learn what's happening in this game is, again, acknowledging the fact that there's this grid right here. This is kind of a fun thing to talk about, this water bar, but it won't make sense to really talk about that right now. But just get a general idea that there's going to be water rising in this game. And on this grid, what we're going to do is build the scaffold, as I mentioned before, Tetris style here on the board. And one of the main ways that we're going to get points is going to be by building the scaffolding, but we'll talk about that later. But we're going to have these scaffolds on the board, and we're going to try to build these things called machines. And I just wanted to point out, so for example, if the blue player builds this machine onto this grid, but there has to be scaffold underneath it. So if there was scaffold, we build this machine, then the blue player would earn 10 points. And the way we're going to track that, because this thing will be on the board, no real player color associated with it, then we would use these tokens to show that. So a big thing here is trying to get these machines built on top of the scaffolds right here in the middle. You can even see that the scaffolds, in order to build these scaffolds, so these big scaffolds over here, then you would need to be able to pay 3 iron and 2 coal. So obviously those are the resources that we're going to be collecting. Hopefully we can collect enough to buy those machines. Building these smaller machines are cheaper. For example, this one is only 3 iron. To build these, it's either 2 or 3 coal, depending on when you get there. But you can also see they offer fewer victory points. So these small machines, like this one offers 6, for example. This one offers 8. So these smaller machines are cheaper, but fewer victory points. But obviously, we got to start somewhere. So keep an eye on that. One big way to earn points in this game is to build those machines. Another way to earn points you're going to see, hopefully you notice this star right here, is going to be to use these machines. So once this machine is on the scaffold, on the grid, then this could offer a point. So the more often we use this machine, the more points we can get. So the points that you earn for building the machine are up here. If you gain points from the machines, they'll be bigger and down there, like in the center of the machine. Another great way to earn victory points is going to be to upgrade our personal player area machines. The cost of these, so not really the reward, but the cost of these are shown right here. And so in order to build this upgrade, we would need 4 coal. To build this upgrade, we would need 2 gold. To build this upgrade, you would need 4 gold. But let's just take a look. If you were to build this upgrade, the way you show that it's built is you would put it right here. And the victory points for building such machines are going to be down here. And they're going to offer you a special ability in addition to the one that we already have. So you could see that there are 6 spots for upgrades. I just wanted to point out why these boards look the way they do. It's because you can buy up to 6 upgrades, put them here on the machine. The cost for these are up here, and the points are here. Let's see, what else is on the board? Oh, let's just take a look right here. There are going to be cards in the game. the cost of cards, and we'll get more detail later, but basically the cost of the cards, you could get one card for free on your turn, more on that later, or you could spend any resource. So these stars represent you could spend one resource of any kind to get 2 cards, or 2 resources of any kind to get 3 cards. And cards are basically going to give us like bonus actions on our turn. Now you're going to notice some more victory points listed over here along the side, and as we move up this ladder, the points are more and more. So down here we have 1 point, 4 points, 5, 6, 7, and it goes up from there. You also will see maybe one of these award tokens will have victory points. So the way we're going to get these points is, it's a little tricky to explain this at the beginning of the game, but the idea is we're going to be able to move these workers onto the scaffolds to help build the machines. And then once the machines are built, you can kind of imagine that these workers are going to basically kind of retire and come over here on the ladder, and they'll end up over here at the end of the game. They'll pick up a reward during the game and be worth these points at the end. So anyway, it's okay if you don't know exactly what's going on yet. I just want you to get a feel for the types of ways to get points. One way that we haven't talked about yet is going to be building scaffolds. Another way is going to be by putting workers onto the machines, or onto the scaffolds, building the machines, and sending the workers over here to the ladder. Kind of imagine that's like retirement. They built their machine and they're good to go. Now, before the blue player, who's going to be our start player, takes their official first turn, we have one final phase of setup that I wanted to use to kind of launch us into explaining the game. So before the game begins, starting with the start player, each player is going to pick one shape of scaffold, and you're going to take 2 pieces of that type of scaffold. Now, we're learning, right? I have not played this game all that many times. Strategy is never my strong suit, and I want to say up front, this is not a strategy guide. I'm not going to teach you how to play the game well. I'm just going to teach you how to play it correctly, in theory. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick one of these shapes. It's not really worth dwelling on it forever, so let's just have the blue player go ahead and grab these 2. And what you want to do is you're going to pick one of these scaffolds to keep in a reserve, basically something that you'll be able to build later on in the game. And the other one you're going to put on the board. So take a look here. The resources that you see are going to match the ones on our board. And once these scaffold pieces are on the board, that basically means that those are resources that are going to be open for people to be able to gain on their turn. So if this one ends up on the board, it's going to be possible for people to get a whistle and an iron. In order for this one to get on the board, we're going to be able to get gold and an iron. Now, I'm going to explain this a little bit later, but it's going to be really important for the blue player to get whistles because of their special ability. And so we're going to have the blue player go ahead and get this thing on the board right now. The only rule for this very initial setup is that one edge has to be here on the bottom row, like it has to be touching the water line. So again, you could talk about this forever and ever. Let's not dwell on it, but I'm going to go ahead and put this piece here-ish. We'll go here. And specifically, as the blue player, I'm just thinking I want to do my best to make sure that this whistle is kind of on the outside edge. So I'm hoping that by putting it over here, and you could take this and flip it and rotate it. Heck, we could go like this if we wanted to. I just want to make sure that it's open and that nobody's really going to cover it up right now, because I want to be able to gain whistles. In order to gain the resources, the shape needs to be kind of on the outside of this whole big scaffolding project. So now, again, to start off the game, the red player is going to do the same thing. They're just going to pick one of the shapes and take 2 pieces. I don't know. Let's go for gold. Yes. So same thing as before. Take a look at these pieces. Okay, you're going to keep one and put the other one on the board. They both have gold. One offers water, one offers iron. The blue player already put an iron on the board, but there's also going to be water available. I don't know. Let's not dwell too long. We'll go ahead and hold on to this one. And let's put this on the board, and it can go anywhere as long as it's touching the bottom row in any orientation you want. Something, I guess, kind of strategic we're thinking about, take this for what it's worth, I could be way off, is you probably want these to be pretty close to one another. You don't really want them to be spaced out because you could be giving your opponent some really high scoring options You could be giving them to yourself too, but maybe your opponent gets them first. And so it might be worth considering just keeping these things close together. So I think what we'll do is let's go ahead and just put this right here for now. Again, that strategy is 100% me just kind of saying, I guess that's worth thinking about. Maybe I'm totally full of it. But we're going to go ahead and put that there, and officially setup is complete. And so let's go ahead and play. Now the way this is going to work, I mentioned before, is we have these 3 airships, which basically work like workers for worker placement. On your turn, you can do one of 2 different things. You can either collect, which means we're going to send one of our airships to the board, usually with the plan of either gaining resources or spending those resources to gain scaffold, an upgrade, a card, one of the machines. Those things around the outside edges of the board that we talked about, we could gather those by spending our resources. So that's what these are. That's one option, is that we could send one of these to the board to get stuff. Another option is we could forge. Forging means that you're going to bring all of your airships back, and then if you have stuff that you've collected, scaffolds or machines, then you're going to have the opportunity to build that stuff. And so, especially probably for the first couple of turns, what we're going to be doing is picking an airship and sending it to the board. I kind of know what I want to do a little bit, so what I'm going to do is let me take this airship and I'm going to move it around the board and talk about what are all the options that we have with this airship. One of the big options is going to be to put this airship somewhere on the grid, meaning it can't be on the scaffolding. It's got to go on the grid, usually next to the scaffolding. And what will happen is when you put this down, let's pretend I put this down right here on the grid. Notice this is 2 squares long. If I were to put this down right here, what you would do is you would look at all of the spaces directly adjacent to that ship, not diagonal. So if I were to put this right here, I would look at the spaces above it, behind it, in front of it, and right below it. Notice I skipped all the diagonals, and you would gain any resources that were there. So for example, if I put this here, I would gain 1 gold and 1 iron. If I were to put this down here, I would gain 2 water and a whistle. If I were to put this over here, sorry, I'm trying to not bump that. If I were to put this over here, I would gain 1 water and 1 iron. So that's one option. Take your airships. Obviously, if I put my big hunker right here, this one would also just give me, at this point, a gold and an iron. Or if I were to put this thing right here, that would give me a water and 2 iron. Okay, so that's kind of why these are different shapes, is because as they come along the board, they might get you more resources depending on their placement. So that's going to be one of the options. If we come here, it's going to help us collect resources. I'll just briefly mention, if there was a machine built on the scaffold like this, another option we're going to have later on in the game is to actually place this on the machine to get the things on the machine and around the ship. But we'll get into that later. I don't want to overwhelm you yet. So with your airship, you could put it on the grid around the scaffold to get some resources. If you were to put your ship in one of these spaces here, okay, it would just dock right there like that. Then what that's going to do is allow you to buy more scaffold that will go into your player area that you'll have the option to build later. And that's also going to get you points. I haven't explained yet because trying to not overwhelm you. So if we were to dock right here, we could either get 1 scaffold for free. This is a little confusing on the iconography. I don't love it. This kind of implies that you would have to take this shape. But anytime you see this shape in the game, it means you could take any piece of scaffold. So if I were to dock right here, I could take any 1 scaffold for free, or I could spend a whistle to get 2 scaffolds, or I could spend 2 whistles to get any 3 scaffolds. And you would just take them from the top and bring them back into your player area in order to, build them later. Another option would be to dock right here. That will allow you to buy the upgrades. As we talked about, the cost of those upgrades are right here. They'll give you a special ability and a couple of points. Another option is to dock right here. And as we mentioned before, you could either get 1 card for free, spend any 1 resource to get 2 cards, spend any 2 resources to get 3 cards. We'll talk more about cards when we get them, but basically that will kind of get you a bonus action during your turn. If you were the first person to dock here, you would probably dock right up at this spot, spend 2 coal to pick up one of these machines. You wouldn't score the points for those machines until you actually build the machine. We'll talk about building later, but you would pick one of these machines and bring it back to your board for building later. A second spot is here if you or somebody else wants to spend 3 coal to get another machine. We talked about this. You could dock right here, spend 3 iron to pick a medium machine, or you could dock right here, spend 3 iron and 2 coal to pick up a large machine in order to build it later. Now, I know what I want the blue player to do, and specifically their special ability is kind of driving my plan for them. Their special ability says if you pick up any scaffold, so one of these pieces of any shape, if you pick up a scaffold during your turn, then at the end of your turn, you're going to gain another scaffold for free. Remember, scaffolds, you could either get 1 for free, or if I have whistles, I could get even more. And so the blue player is going to really focus on that. I want to keep an eye out for whistles. I want to try to get a bunch of scaffold, use my special ability to get even more scaffolds, because scaffolds, building scaffolds, is a great way to get points. So with that in mind, and sorry, I do keep bumping this, that is something that happens, I'm going to take this thing, and I'm going to park it right here, and that's going to give me 2 waters and 1 whistle. You'll notice that there is a limit to how many resources you can hold, only 4 of each kind. You're also going to notice that the whistle says wild, and that means that if you needed to spend one of these 4 resources, you could spend a whistle. But if you need to spend a whistle, like we're going to get our scaffold, then you would have to spend a whistle. That's a little weird to understand maybe, but hopefully you're good. Okay, one last thing that I wanted to say as we start moving along is you either pick collect or forge. There's going to be some bonus actions, we'll talk about that later, but what I wanted to do is just take a quick second to give you a rundown of what these resources are going to do to help us out. You already saw that iron and coal are going to be the best way to buy machines. Gold is going to come up like on the upgrades, but specifically the gold is going to help you with moving your worker people, either to help them be saved from drowning, which will end up being negative points at the end of the game, but gold is also going to be what you pay these people to come into work so that they can eventually slide over that way. And water is going to help you build. So more water you have, the more stuff you're going to be able to put on the board. The more iron and the more coal you have, the more of these things you're going to get to be able to build. Gold is going to help you rescue those workers, and whistles are going to be a good wild resource, and they're going to help you get scaffolds. So we went ahead and we placed one of our airships. This just gives you a reminder of all of the places you can put them. And if we had any awards or cards, we could do a bonus action, but for now, we're done. So now over to the red player. The red player is the technician, and what they can do is anytime they pick up an upgrade, they actually get to activate any machine on the board, or if they were holding onto it in their personal supply because they hadn't built it yet, that too. That's pretty powerful. It's more powerful than some other icons are going to suggest. Basically, any machine on the board could be machines that were already built on top of the scaffolds or even on the sides of the board. So that's not something super common when we see icons similar to that one. That one really is any machine that you can see either on the side, on the scaffold, or in your personal play area. So in order to trigger this, we're going to have to buy upgrades. And right now the upgrades that are available are going to cost either 4 gold or 2 gold or 4 coal. So right now I'm kind of like trying to keep an eye on how to get those resources. I think that probably the best way to get those resources for now would be to grab this and place it right here. That's going to get me 1 gold and 1 iron. And then next time we could use the 2 gold to go get that cheaper upgrade. So that'll be fun. All right, so we did the collect action by sending out an airship. We don't have any bonus actions to do, so we don't need to worry about that for now. But do keep in mind, I'm going to want to get this piece out on the board soon, because it's going to offer another gold, which could help me get those upgrades. Back to blue. Again, some things to think about for blue are water is going to help us build more. Just trust me for now. And so more pieces, if we want to build a bunch of pieces when it comes time to build stuff, having water is going to be good. We have our special ability, which is excellent. So I guess this is what I'm debating in my brain right now. Do I send my air balloon to this spot to get 1 more whistle, so that I have 2 whistles, and on my next turn, I could send my big dreadnought here, spend the 2 whistles to pick up 3 scaffolds and get another scaffold because of my special ability. I personally think that might be a little overkill. That's like scaffold central. So I think what I'm going to do instead is let's grab, what do I want to do? Okay, let's just take our air balloon. I'm going to spend 1 whistle to go ahead and park right here. So I spent the 1 whistle. I get to grab any 2 scaffolds that I want. I think this one's going to be a good one for several reasons I'll show you soon when it comes to building. Again, think about Tetris, but also it has a whistle on it, so I like that. And the other shape, do you know what? I think I'm going to take the same shape. Just looking at the scaffolds that are already on the board and getting my Tetris brain going, I'm going to grab that same shape. And because it's the end of my turn, and I did get a scaffold this turn, I get to go pick another one. So let me kind of show you what I'm thinking without getting too detailed. When we build scaffolds a little bit later, you're basically going to get 1 point for every connection that you make. So basically, I'm thinking of putting this one here, and that's going to get me 4 points. I don't know if you can see that, but that's going to be 1 connection, 2, 3, 4. So connecting scaffold to scaffold will get you points. So by putting the other L shape on this side, that's going to be 3 points, is kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, we could come up and that could be 3, or we could flip it up. How many would that be? That would be 1, 2, 3 as well. So something like that for that one. I'm just trying to think of what other pieces. So if I put this one here, and then I could put this guy here, look, that's going to be 4 points. So I probably want another L to go here, or the L could go there, something like that. Okay, so maybe, I think I want another L. Can I get it out? Hold on. Oh, it got stuck on that lip. I got to tape that better. Oh, Tom, with your do-it-yourself stuff. Okay, that's feeling pretty good to me. And I know that I think I'm in a good place. We're doing all right over here on blue. So for red, I think let's spend our 2 gold in order to take this, and we're going to put it right here. And we spent our 2 gold, so we're going to get this special ability, or this upgrade, and we'll just go ahead and replace that right now. So this next upgrade is going to cost 3 gold, and we're going to talk about what these things do as we bring this back. So it doesn't matter where you put this, but it's going to be 4 points at the end of the game. I'm not going to actually pick up the tokens for this. This is going to be an end game scoring thing because we can see it here at our player board right now. So that's going to get us 4 points at the end of the game. And what this is telling us is when we buy a machine from the board, then we actually also get to draw a card. We haven't talked too much about cards yet because we haven't really seen them, but we're going to soon. Trust me. But because I just barely got an upgrade, okay, because I got an upgrade, then I actually get to activate any machine either in my player area or anywhere on the board. I guess what I wanted to point out is notice that there's no grid marks on this icon, where this icon does have a grid mark. You can kind of see those lines. So with this award, you would have to activate a machine on the grid, where this one is anywhere on the board. I hope I got that right. It can be a little confusing. There were a couple forums about it because it doesn't feel ultra clear. So let's just look at the machines we can activate. We could activate one for free. This would get you an iron and a point. This gets you a water and a coal, a water and an iron. We could spend a coal to rescue one of our drowning workers, which at the end of the game would be 5 points. That could be good. Okay, I'm kind of interested in this one. Or this one says that we could spend any 2 resources to gain any upgrade for free. And because our special ability doesn't say that it just happens once per turn or at the end of the turn, then we could spend any 2 resources to gain another upgrade and activate another machine. I kind of like that. That sounds fun. I think that's where I'm going to head, but let's look at the other options. This one would just let you gain a card. This card says that you could spend an iron and a water in order to, you would basically pick up one. The water's going to flood, and so if a machine is caught in the flood, we could actually rescue that machine, take it back into our personal area. This one says you could trade an upgrade with an upgrade from the market. And this one says, oh, let's see. I didn't even look at this in advance. We're going to spend a gold in order to either move one of our workers from here over to the scaffold or from the scaffold to a different scaffold. Or what it says here is that we can rescue a worker from here and put them onto this machine. Okay, so I don't think that I really want to activate that. What I do think I want to do is iron looks pretty easy to come by. I'm going to spend these 2 iron in order to activate this ability. I spent any 2 resources to gain another upgrade. Let's grab one of these expensive ones, either black lung or gold lung. This would basically say that your gold pieces act as wild. This says your coal pieces act as wild. Let's bring this one back. And because we just barely got another upgrade, we get to activate any machine. We could spend any 2 resources to activate another machine. What I think I want to do is I'm going to grab this coal. Let's spend this coal to activate the rope ladder. What that says is we get to rescue a worker from the whirlpool. That's going to be good because any workers down here that are drowning are minus 5 points at the end of the game. So we're going to grab one of these workers, and these workers go anywhere on an empty scaffold space. So don't put them on the resources. They got to go on an empty space, and we'll talk about the repercussions from this a little bit later. But I think that this is going to be a good spot here. You basically want to put them in spaces where you think machines are going to get built, because once a machine gets built on their space, they're going to move over here to retirement, is what I'm calling it, and earn you points. You also want to keep in mind how far up the scaffold they are. When this guy is kicked off to retire, he's going to go straight across here and pick up these 4 points and 1 point at the end of the game. So there's a lot of good stuff going on there. That was a great turn for red. They don't have any cards or bonus actions to do, so that will end their turn. As I said, great turn. But let's not forget to reload. Oh, wow, I really did shuffle these upgrades. So, yep, that's going to be 4 waters. We'll turn your waters into a wild, which is awesome. So there's a pretty fantastic opportunity for blue, I think. We've got all this stuff. It would be nice to get 1 more water just to have it, and I have space for iron. So we're going to take our dreadnought. I was tempted to go get cards with this, but this is too good, I think, right here. So we're going to park right here. That will get us 2 iron and 1 water. Let's see here. So we're full up on water. Here's our 2 iron. And they're out of workers. So next time we're going to be forced to forge, which means we're going to bring our people back and we're going to be able to build, get some points going. Red could choose to forge right now if we wanted to. We could bring our people back. I think that... here's the thing. I really love cards. So I'm going to draw some cards. I'm going to spend both of these waters in order to take this guy, park him right here. Since I spent 2 waters, we're going to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And there's no limit to how many cards you can have in your hand. But one thing that is nice here is these are going to give us some bonus opportunities. Oh man, and we're going to be so happy we got this one. Specifically, we've done our collect action. We sent an airship out. And remember, we always have this bonus action anytime during your turn, including right now. You could play 1 card and or claim 1 reward that you already had over here. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We could turn in a gold to move a worker from here. Let me show you. These are called barracks. So you could move the worker from the barracks onto the scaffolds, or you could move them from one scaffold spot to a different scaffold spot if you wanted to for various reasons. So that's what that one's saying. This one is going to just let you activate any, oh my gosh, remote trigger. You're going to activate any machine on the board just like we saw before. Notice there's no grid lines here, so I'm pretty sure that means any machine on the whole board. And this is the one I'm most excited about. We're going to play this one because, take a look. Just so happens our board is totally empty. We still haven't played any card this turn. You can always play 1 card per round. I'm going to go ahead and discard this card because that's going to let me gain 1 of every resource in any row that's empty, which is fantastic for our current situation because we were empty. And I didn't even know that was going to happen, but I feel real good about it. Okay, so we basically just replenished everything. I love that. The blue doesn't have any more airships, so we're forced to forge. And this can feel a little complicated, but basically, we're going to pull all of our airships back. Notice the opportunity that's going to give other players, including the red player, if they had airships, to now park into these spaces. We pull them back. And then what we have, okay, how do you explain this? We can do these things in any order. There's basically 4 things happening here. We can build for free. We could spend another water to build again. We can spend another water to build again. I think I said another here. So we could build for free, spend a water to build again, spend another water to build a third time. So we could build up to 3 times if we're willing to spend the water. And we get to choose to spend 1 gold to move a worker onto the scaffold, or we could spend 2 gold to rescue a worker from the whirlpool. So we have the stuff, and what I like to do so I don't forget is I kind of like to move things here that I'm planning on, like this, just because it can be tricky to kind of keep track of everything that's about to happen. And don't forget, if you had a card or an award, you could do that too. But basically, once stuff is over here, I'm going to go ahead and build for free. We already kind of talked about where we want to build. I'm going to take this one. Oh, that's going to cover up my whistle. Because notice, if I put this here, then no airships can go there. Do I really want to do that for the 4 points? Well, let's go over this way for right now, because I know I did want to come here. Okay, so by building this scaffold here, I made 3 connections, 3 points. And then let's spend this water to, I think I wanted to put this one out. Yeah, this one's going to go here, and notice it's going to give us 4 points for the 4 connections it's making. The scaffold touching the other scaffold. That's going to be 4 points. Let's go ahead and just make some change. Let's spend our other water. Can I get this other whistle out there? I want to put this whistle in a place where it's accessible. So I could go like that. That would be 4 points. I do have some space to put it here. That would be 4 points. It would cut off the coal. So I'm either going to cut off the coal or the iron. And which one do I want? I don't know, but I like keeping the whistles open. Let's go here. This seems more fun. All right, so that's 4 more points. So we'll just keep on. I guess we'll make change while it's easy. And now I've built as much as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and spend this 1 gold. And you could do these in any order. Because I'm spending 1 gold, I can move 1 worker. It's generally a good idea to pull your worker from the bottom of these barracks, because otherwise they might drown when the water starts to rise. So we'll go ahead and grab this one. And we could put it anywhere that we want to on any empty space. You want to put it somewhere you think people will build machines, but also you want to put it at a level with a reward that looks enticing to you. Obviously that 4-point reward looks great if I can get something built before the red player. Like if I could get this worker over here first, that would be good. So let's put ourselves, I guess let's go right here. We're trying to look for big spaces the machines can go onto. We would send workers over. So yeah, let's go right there. The blue player doesn't have any cards or awards, so we'll just be done with our turn. Awesome 11-point turn for the blue player. All right, the red player, and I want you to be aware that I know I'm going to often forget that I have these upgrades. It's just, that's how I roll. We have to do a forge action as well, so first thing we'll do is we'll collect all of our ships. Let's see here, we got these. And we'll dock them-ish. Now, I don't think there's no reason to spend a water because I only have 1 piece to build. So I am going to plan on building this piece. I do have 1 gold. Let's get a worker out there. So I am going to go ahead and spend a gold. Again, you could do this in any order. So I'll just spend this gold. We'll build some scaffold and we'll move a worker over. Now, I know the blue player wants whistles. Whistles are great for everybody. I'd like to cut them off from having so many whistle options, so I do think we'll put ours right here because I could see their special ability. I know that they need whistles. So we're going to go ahead and place right here. That's 4 connections, and so that'll be 4 points. But before we get those 4 points, we're going to bring 1 worker over. It can go on any empty space at all. It would also be good. So by putting them on the bottom layer, when you slide over, you're going to get a reward that's going to help you rescue drowned people. So that's nice. But also getting a free machine is nice, especially because when I get machines, then I get a card. So probably I want to come, let's come up here. We'll plan on that so when I slide over, I can get that reward. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. So here's their 4 points. And are there any of these cards I want? I could activate a machine. Do you know what? Let's do that. We can go ahead and activate a machine. Oh, no, do you know what? I double checked in the rules. This one, I wish that I had those grid lines the way that one does. This one, in the rule book, it does say that this one has to be on the grid or in your player area. So let's actually hold on to this. I was incorrect. I was thinking about the grid lines, but I did want to double check. The rule book does have this really nice and helpful reference. And so it has this whole sheet, sorry, it's hard to hold, for cards. And the card we were just barely trying to use is remote trigger. It says activate any active machines on the grid or in your storage. So again, I really kind of wish the iconography was more clear. I think that there are some places that it's lacking. That's one example of where I think they could have put the grid lines on there to be more clear. But yeah, okay. So I don't have any gold to activate that other one either. No machines out yet, so we will hold off. So that's going to bring us back over to the blue player. And here's the plan. It's definitely a bummer that we can't come over here to get this whistle. Still nice that we have that whistle. But there is a way to access this whistle. And that would be by building a machine next to this whistle, because once we start building machines, we could start putting our airships on this whole scaffolding machine system. So I think that's kind of what I want to do. And my plan is, let's spend these 3 irons and let's just grab the air balloon, and we're going to come right here. I don't know which of these airships I want to grab. I think probably this one, but what I wanted to point out is I think I'm going to put that right there. And the reason is I want to be the first person, I know it's just off screen, but I want to be the first worker to head over that way to pick up that 4-point award over there. That would happen if we both ended up getting moved over there at the same time. You would go in turn order as I'm stuttering a lot. I apologize for that. It would be in turn order in terms of who moves over first. So if it was my current turn, I'd get to claim that award before the red player does. So that's kind of where I'm headed, but of course this doesn't get built until the building phase, so for now, we'll just hold on to it over here. And things are always replenished once you grab them. So here's our new one. Spend a card to move one of your workers up or down this ladder. That will come in handy for whoever decides to use that machine once it's built. So again, we could use any one card anytime during our turn, except I don't have any gold right now, and I don't have any machines in front of me, and there is no machine out on the board. So these cards aren't really going to help me right now. The current upgrades that are available are either going to cost 4 water, 4 coal, or 3 gold. I don't have those, so I probably want to go get some resources. Seems like this could be a good spot, a gold and an iron and a water, or an iron and a gold here. If I use my 2-piecer, I could obviously grab a whistle with my 1 air balloon. That would block the blue player from getting that. I should also say I do have a whistle that could act as a gold, so I could actually grab one of my workers and bring them over. One reason why that might be useful, I'm kind of having to do that thing where I don't know how much the red player actually knows about the blue player's intentions, but obviously they know what size machine they just purchased and that they probably want to get to that whistle, I guess. I don't know. Just that happens obviously in all of my videos where I'm playing 2 players. And I always try to play it as fairly as possible. But the reason I'm saying that is I could bring a worker and put them in this area, thinking the blue player might be building in this area, especially if I put them close to the blue worker. Then if I put them as close as possible, then I could get a worker to come over here and grab one of these awards, and these awards would help you grab from the whirlpool, so that's good. And, oh, I need to remember that my gold is wild. So let's plan on, I'm just going to grab this. Let's just come right here. We'll get a water, an iron, and a gold. I would love to get some coal, but that just isn't accessible right now. So I guess we'll have to wait a little bit. Though, obviously, I could use my gold and my whistle as coal. There's a lot to think about and things worth keeping in mind. But I did want to say, it's really easy to look at the blue player and their 11 stars worth of points and say, well, Red's only got 4. Don't forget, they also have 4 more points here and 2 more points here. So they're pretty neck and neck. I think they're at 10 points right now. It's not too bad. Now, the big thing I want to consider is it worth building this? Like, do I just do the forge action and get this thing built? It's definitely tempting, but I think for now, man, I really want that whistle. I did use my 1 slot air balloon, so like this isn't available to just come right here and grab that. But I could just bring this one. It is a little bit of a waste to only grab the 1 whistle, but for me, whistles are great. I don't know that a whistle is as good as using that 1 ship there, but I guess we'll do that anyway. And red player will seize on that opportunity the blue player just passed up to go right here to grab an iron and a gold. And the blue player does have 2 water, so we could build up to 3 times. 1, 2, but I don't have anything else, so maybe let's use this opportunity. We're going to spend a whistle in order to come over here, and we'll spend the whistle, so we're going to get 2 scaffolds, plus we get to pick up an additional scaffold because we're the riveter. And so, oh man, what shapes do I want? I have the L shape. Let's grab one of these. One of these. Oh, and now I see 2 whistles. We'll get another one of these. Oop. That seems reasonable enough. Now, I could, of course, I could forge. I could call these back and start building. I don't really have anything to build, which is kind of a disappointment probably. I probably should have stuff to build. I don't want to let that go. So I think I will also spend my whistle, and I mean I could have also spent gold, because remember my golds are also wild. So I could have spent 1 gold in order to grab 3 scaffolds. I think I'm okay with just grabbing 2. As I mentioned before, we're a little hard on finding coal, but also gold would be great for me. Oh my gosh, I've got to get this thing taped down. Okay. Oh, and there is another gold. Do I grab that other gold? Probably. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to pause and go tape that thing down. Or it's low enough I could take these out of the box. Whatever. Okay. At least we can build these so we're not missing out on those points. Now the blue player is going to go ahead and forge. So we'll grab our ships. Notice the red player's stuff is going to be blocking the blue player as they try to forge. That is going to be a little bit obnoxious to work around. But we're going to do the best we can. So I do think that I'm going to end up building all 3 times, and I don't have any gold, so I'm not going to be moving or rescuing any workers. So let's just take our pieces over there for now, because I don't really know which one I want, and I know that I can build up to 3 times. So here, we'll lay these out like this. Okay, the first thing I think I want to do is let's go ahead and build the printing press. I'm going to put it right here, which is going to send both of these workers in a straight horizontal line over here, but you move them in turn order starting with the active player, and so the blue player ends up here first, and so they're going to claim this. Now they can, as a bonus action, actually spend or use this award, and so we could do that once per turn. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll put this here as a reminder that I'm doing that, and we will go ahead and claim those 4 points. That one I don't see any reason to wait on necessarily, so we'll just do that now. And remember, at the end of the game, each of these workers over here, they're going to be 1 point. All right, then we're going to go ahead and drop this thing right here where the workers were. And we will talk about the implications of that thing being there in the next round. That was 1 build action. Now we've got some more build actions with a lot of these really in the way. That would only be 2 points to put that there. That's disappointing. So I guess we're going to build upward. So that would be 3 points. And then we'll put this one here for 4 points. So 7 more points for those builds. Oh man, I did just cover up my whistle. but I have it more open down there. Did I really want to do that? Hold on. What if I put this one down? I might have to take a hit on points. That would be 1, 2, 3. So 6 points, but the whistles would still be, that whistle would still be there. Yeah, let's do that. Now, I'm going to go get 6 points, but what I wanted to point out is notice that there's this train track, and it says the word danger right here. Okay? The reason why I'm pointing that out is when we start building machines above that line, that's what's going to start raising the water. Scaffold can go above that line, no big deal. But once a machine ends up there, that's going to start flooding this thing. And the general idea is once there are no more workers in the barracks, so either the workers have all moved off, or maybe the floodwaters have come all the way up, that's going to be the end of the game trigger. But for now, we are going to hold on to these. We spent this, so this actually just gets removed from the game. So I'll just go ahead and take it out, and we picked up 6 points instead of 7, but that's okay because a whistle is still exposed for us. And we spent both of the waters to do that. So that was the blue player's forge action. The red player is going to do their forge action, but do I want to use either of these at this point? I think we could still wait. Let's do still wait. So now these ships are coming off. And I think I'm going to only spend the 1 water, and we'll get both of these things built. Oh, I'll put that here for now so I remember. And do I want to spend both of these? Here's the reason why I'm really questioning it. I could spend 2 gold to rescue my 1 worker from the whirlpool. And specifically want to do that because those are minus 5 points at the end of the game. If I end up building this lifeboat, workers in the whirlpool are not going to be negative 5 points. They're just going to be 0 points down there. So that is something I've got my eye on, but I don't know for sure that I want to grab that. And so, let's plan on not grabbing that just yet. And maybe, yeah, I'm only going to spend 1 gold. All right, so for now, let's bring these over. And we've got some excellent spots here. I could go like this for 5. Or do I want to lay that down like this? I think we'll go like this. Oh, I wanted to try to have that coal open. So maybe this one. That would be 5. Oh yeah, that would be 5. Yeah, okay, so that's 5 like that. And then how much would this one be? This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, 10 points. And we've got some more coal open. And there's plenty of gold here. Is there a better place? Is that better? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also 5. And a lot of gold is open. All right, we're going to put this here. That was 10 points. And this happens all the time. I forgot the blue actually got 12 points for building that machine. So let's just start by getting 10 points for red. I seriously have done that more times than I want to admit. It's just, I don't know why that's so easy for me to forget. So that was our 1 water to help build. Now let's spend 1 of our golds. And we're trying to position ourselves in a good spot. I'm going to grab my bottom worker, and that one could go over there to claim that award. So let's try to aim up higher to claim this award and 5 points. Let's bring ourselves down just so that we have a better chance at getting built over. So that's going to bring us over to blue. Let's talk about this amazing new opportunity that just opened up, and we have to take it before the red player does. So we are going to put ourselves right here. Now that a machine is here, you still can't have your airships touch the scaffold at all. And if you're going to put them on a machine, it has to be exclusively on that one machine. So we could put this here or here, top or bottom. We could also put this guy here or here or here or here, or turn it here, here, or here. Or, of course, we could put our air balloon on any one of those spots. And just like what happens when you put it outside of a scaffold, you're going to look at all of the spaces adjacent, and you're going to claim everything. And what that means is even if there was another, let's just for pretensies, let's say that this one was here. If I was to go here, you would also be able to activate adjacent machines and all sorts of stuff. So you're going to look at every space that's adjacent and activate that, which means here, I'm going to gain, this is a little bit intense here. I'm going to gain 1 card, 1 whistle, 2 gold, an iron, and a coal. So here we've got that. I went ahead and drew a card. So this card means that anytime during our turn, we could turn in 3 iron to gain a medium market. We wouldn't have to spend an airship to get that. That's great. I don't have the iron for that yet, but I did go ahead and pick up the other things. That spot is really powerful all of a sudden. And, oops, sorry. We got coal and our whistle and an iron. Fun. Okay, now if I wanted to, I could do this, but I don't have my iron. But if I did have the iron, remember you could do 1 card per turn. But for now, that's it for the blue player. But also while we're here, let me just, oh no, there are no 20s, duh. I was thinking I would make a 20. We'll wait until we get the 50. So that spot was undeniably great. I can't take that away from the blue player. I do think since I'm really trying to get my upgrades, I want to make sure that I could do more of that. So what I'm going to do is take my air balloon. I will spend 3 iron, take my air balloon. Let's try to make sure that we can get this machine that we love so much out on the board. And or if I don't want the other player to have it, I could just hold on to it and utilize it with my technician ability. Since remember this, when I get an upgrade, I get to activate any machine in my personal supply or on the board. So if I wanted to, I really could just hold on to that. That would also be the case for this card here. When I use this card, I could choose this one. Do I want to do that now? Do I want to do that now? Kind of. I would love to have as many wilds as I could possibly get. Let's do that. I haven't spent a card yet. Okay, so I'm going to use this in order to activate this machine. And I'm going to spend my water and my coal to do that. The discards go right here. And I think I'm going to grab the black lung. Do I want the water one? I don't know, the water or coal. I mean, water's often accessible because of that water line. But I think I'm going to stick with the black lung. And we'll replace this while we're at it. Let's see what this says. The pawn shop. Any 2 resources, turn them into a point. And because we did that, we can go activate any machine on the board. Let's not forget to refill this. Okay, so spend a gold to get a card. I do have a gold sitting there, and I would love to get some cards. Or this is spend a card to lift. I do have that card that I don't know that I want to spend. Oh, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and activate this machine by spending this card in order to move ourselves up the lift and claim this reward. Award. It's not a reward, it's an award. I don't know the difference between the two. I guess one happens again. But I could spend this anytime. I did spend my 1 card, but I also could spend 1 award to gain a... Okay, let me think. I could gain a small machine for free. Sure, let's do it. I'm just going to go ahead and keep this off there. I definitely know that I want some coal, but also just getting a point and an iron would be amazing. So let's grab this one and we'll replenish. Ooh, a gold and a point. I love that. Can you believe how crazy this turn has been? Okay, I think I got everything. Oh, nope. And look at this engine we did. Because we got a machine, we also get to draw a card. Nice. 2 whistles. Okay, cool. So what did I even do that turn? I bought this, right? And then I used my card to activate it to get an upgrade. And because I got an upgrade, I got to activate a machine. I activated a machine that let me move my worker up to get an award. And because I got the award that let me make a new machine, I got the new machine to get a new card. Oh my gosh. I wish I could map that out. That was a little exciting. And the blue player was scared. I think a little bit is what they were feeling. And the big question is, what the heck are they going to do? I think they're going to definitely need some water at some point, because that's going to help them do some building. This is kind of a wuss move, but we're going to need the water. Let's get 2 waters and an iron. Okay, That way they'll be able to do some good building on their next turn. Now, we could use this card to get 2 whistles, but what I think I'm going to do is let's send this one out. This isn't the most exciting move compared to last time, but what we're going to do is we're going to come use this printing press as well, and we won't get all the fancy resources, but we will get 3 waters and a card. So here's our 3 waters and our card, just in case it's useful. What does that mean? Discard? I feel like this was discard the top. Hold on, I gotta look that one up. I know I saw this one before, but that's right. It's draw 3 cards and keep 1, discard the other 2. Yeah, so sure. Let's do that right now because we still haven't done our extra card move. So I'm gonna go ahead and discard this. We will draw 3, 2, 3. And what do I want? Spend 2 coal. You just wouldn't have to use a worker to get some small machines. Or do I want 2 more whistles? Let's go ahead and keep this one so we have 1 of each, and then these other ones I'll just discard. Let's go grab some more scaffolds. I mean, I could not get scaffolds. I could get some machines, but I think I want scaffolds this time. So I will, here it's off camera, but I'm spending my whistle in order to grab, I'll get 3 scaffolds. Anything with the whistle is going to entice the blue player. So they'll take these, and the last one, just so we've got options, this one that I still need to take. Okay. Lots of options. What was this one again? Oh, spend 3 iron. I don't have the iron, and I just spent the whistle, so I'll have to hold off on this one, and that's okay. Now I've got to think, is there anything amazing for me to do that I should be doing before I go ahead and forge? And I was half tempted to use this airship to go get this upgrade. Let's just have tons of wild stuff. The problem is I really want those waters to help me build. I need at least 2 of them. So that's not a great plan. But I could, well, I guess I could get some whistles. Or is there a machine that I want to build? Because I want to be able to build 3 things. Yeah, there is a machine that I want. Oh, but I don't have coal. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spend this card in order to grab 2 whistles. And you can, again, do these bonus actions anytime during your turn. And do you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to try to pull a trick on blue. I think I'm going to be mean to blue. I'm going to not do a regular turn. I am going to do a forge action right now. I am going to do that because that's going to put me kind of 1 step ahead for when the blue player removes this. I could go take that spot with my big ship and I could get that next time. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to go ahead and place these here. We're doing our forge action. I will use both or 2 of these waters, and I will go ahead and use a gold. Let's use the gold first to bring a worker. I think I'm going to build my small ship right here, and then let's do my medium ship right here. So if I could just try to get these workers up higher, that would be a good idea, I think. So we'll go ahead and spend these 2. And before I forget, because you know I will, let me go ahead and grab my 13 points. So I'll turn these 2 in to grab 15 like that. That way, we're going to send these over. We're going to win this one. Hopefully, I'm going to find another opportunity to push one of these up. And this one will go here. And then we're going to cover up all of these whistles like the big meanies that we are. And this will go here, leaving that beautiful spot right there. And if we can keep a leg up on blue, that'll be fun. And do you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I haven't spent an award yet this round, so I will go, or this turn, so I will spend that award to draw a card. Okay, that should be fine. Now it's blue's turn. They know exactly what meanie face red is doing. That is what it is. And we will go ahead and do these two. I think I am going to spend both of these golds. I've got to get those workers out of the whirlpool. And I have no idea what 3 things we're going to build. Let's just take these all over there and take a look. Yeah, we'll wait to, here, I'm going to bring this up here so I remember. We're going to bring that one up. I'll put them on one of these ones up here. What have we got? Again, whistles are a big thing for me, especially because a lot of them are getting covered up. Whereas going to take that spot. So if I started with this one, that would be 5 points. And then what would I want to do from there? This one would be 4. We're up to 9. Oh yeah. Oh, but I'm burying this one. How many points would that be? Is it worth it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 5. Probably not worth it. Okay, let me undo that. So this one was 5. And then this one. Yeah, let's do this. Right? So 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 9. And then another 5. Would be 14 points. I know I'm burying that one whistle, but doesn't that look like a good move? Oh no, maybe this is a better one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I think that was 15 points, right? It was 5 plus 4 plus 6. Yes. 15 points, and we will go ahead and put this one up high. And let's claim our pointageness. And I guess we can make change. I mean, I'm not one who like has to make change all the time, but just to give you an idea of where each player stands, really. And what was this? Did I want to use it? No. Okay. And we've already connived our way. We know exactly what we're doing. A card, a gold, 2 golds, iron, coal, and a whistle. All right, so here's our... Oh, yes. Okay, so let's talk about this dispatcher in a second. Let me put these down. So what the dispatcher does is it allows you to bring one of your ships back. So I want to point this out. Sorry, that's why I wanted to put these down. You see how this one is white. There are some cards that will have like a black blimp icon on, and that would mean you would be able to remove one of your opponent's airships. But this one says you get to call one of your airships back, essentially giving you another turn before you forge if you need it. So I've done that. Did I want to rescue someone? Well, we are starting to build up pretty high. And I kind of do have that if I wanted to. There is a machine I'm interested in. I'll wait till I get another coal, I think. Let's go ahead and I will discard this one and spend a gold. Oh, do I want to do this? Because I want to be able to put this one up as high as possible. I would like to get up higher than where the blue player is. So do you know what? Let me undo that. I'll keep that gold out, but let's spend our coal. And I'll discard this card in order to grab this small machine because I really wanted it. Okay. Oh, and since I just barely got this, I forgot about that, of course. I get to draw another card. Cool, we already saw that dispatcher, but that'll be nice. We could keep going for a good long while to make sure that we're ready to do our forge turn when it's time. And again, I know the blue player, it looks like they have a lot. They're at like, I think 50-ish stars, where it appears 27, but don't forget the upgrades. And especially don't forget how high up these workers are, because that's almost 20 points. It's like 18 points right there. So I'm just saying, it's a tight game. Yeah, blue was pretty upset about that move, but of course, they can't really complain. 3, I just have to keep reminding myself, because going back and forth, it's tough to keep track. Let's go look at the board and see what good opportunities there are. You know, coming right here wouldn't be terrible. That would get me 2 steel, a water, a coal, and a point. If I were to come down here in various ways, if I were to go here, I could spend 2 resources to gain an upgrade and get an iron and a point and a gold. But that's using this 3-pointer. Maybe the blue wants to wait off until the red player does something with this one. I could put my singleton here and gain a whistle and a coal. But I think, especially because I'm trying to get, I'd like to be able to use this card. So I think what we will do is let's use our 2-piece. If I were to go here, then I could use this machine and that machine because it is adjacent. But I think I'm going to go here, get 2 steels, a coal, a water, and a point. And let's see, where are we? And I haven't used this any card yet, so might as well just go ahead. Let's use this card and spend 3 steel. And which one do we want? Spend 1 coal to rescue a whirlpool, spend a gold to gain a card, spend a card to move up the lift. I think we really want that lift one. Yeah. Again, claiming it doesn't mean that like you get to use it automatically. It just is, guess what I'm saying? I'm just saying it because it's going to be on the board and something that we can use and argue about and fight over. Okay, spend a water and a coal in order to move a worker either from the barracks onto the scaffold or move him around the scaffold and perform a build action. That's fantastic. Also, this is going to be 12 points. Neat. I do think there's another way that we could spoil the Blues' fun, and it's going to be by sending this one out. If we put them right here, then the blue player can't put their 3 space airship there because we're awful. That's going to allow us to get a gold and a coal, and we could turn in any 2 resources to gain an upgrade, and we all know the slippery slope of fun that that's going to be. So why don't we just keep on going with this wild train, I kind of think. Oh man, it's hard to know. Here's the thing. Do I want the pawn shop where I can just get points? There's so many points in this game. I don't know that I want to be turning in 2 resources for every 1 point now, especially because I haven't shown you this, but the back of the board shows you end of game scoring. And so one of the things is for anything left in our player area, we're going to gain points, including for every 4 resources, it's 1 point. So it's kind of like doubling their value a little bit, but I don't know. I think what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and spend the water and the iron, because those are going to be my weakest ones. Well, I guess the iron is. I'm going to grab this wild watering upgrade. So why don't I do this here? I'm going to go ahead and move these ones down here just so I remember those are basically the only thing that's not wild is going to be my steel. So I just got an upgrade, which means that I get to activate any machine. But before I do, let's go ahead and take a look at this. The recorder, spend a whistle. Each turn you could spend 1 whistle in order to draw a card. Not too bad. Now we already know what these machines do. Let's talk about what these ones are doing. We haven't looked too much into these heavier ones. Basically, spend an iron and a water, because as soon as the water starts creeping up, once water touches one of the machines, it's worthless. And so what you would do is you would actually get to pick up one of those waterlogged machines, bring it back to your area in order to build it up somewhere else. This one will let us switch an upgrade with one in the market, but I really like the upgrades that I have right now. And this one, as I mentioned, I kind of mentioned this one before. You would spend a gold, and that would allow you to do a move worker or a rescue worker action. And what you would do is you would move those workers onto this machine. Now, if we were the ones building this machine, remember that's your building award, then what you would do is you would pull all of your workers off the barracks and put them onto this. And what that would do is you would kind of get to, as best as I can figure out, because all of your workers would be on here, kind of safe as a sanctuary, you wouldn't need to worry about trying to move them off of that in order to avoid being drowned. But if this thing ever gets hit by water, all of the workers on here fall down. So this one's good, but the red player's doing a good enough job getting people off of the barracks that I'm not too thrilled. Like, I don't need that one necessarily. And then we kind of already know what these ones are. Spend a water and a gold in order to... Oh, maybe I do want to do this one. I don't have a water, but I have a lot of wild stuff. That would allow us to do a move action and a build action. I could build that machine I've always wanted to build. I think I do want to do this one. Or I could spend a gold in order to gain a coin, spend a coal in order to rescue a worker. Oh, that's tempting too. Specifically, no, but I have my one machine. Let's get that machine built. I'm going to do this one. So sure, let's spend a coal, and these are all wild. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spend those, and that's going to allow me a build action and a move action. Let's build this. And we can do this in any order. So let's do our move first. We're going to grab this one. And let's put it... Oh, yeah. I wish I could get higher than that 5. But we're going to go ahead and put the worker there. And then we're going to do a build. And so this is going to come over here. I need to not forget I get 7 points for this. And we're going to put that right here. Making a great 3 points or 3 space slot right there. Really great, actually. Let's see. Yep, so that's that. So here were the points. Have I spent a card? Sometimes I just try to put the cards here so that I remember. I don't think I spent a card. No, because the last one was the blue player who spent the 3 iron. And do we send back? I kind of want to wait for the blue player to place their dreadnought before I call my dreadnought back and send them out again. Because I'm mean. So yeah, here's the blue player. No current whistles. So I think what they'll do is they will send this one. I mean, what do they do? I think we go here for a coal and a whistle. Or heck, I could go on one of these 2 spots and activate all 3 machines. That would get me 2 points. Gold. Let's see if I went here. 2 points, a gold, an iron. And I could spend 2 resources to get an upgrade. I've really got to get an upgrade. I've been trying to focus on whistles, and there is a good one. I don't know. Do I want this whistle, or do I come over here? I think we go over here. Right? Sure. Okay, so 2 points. A gold and an iron, and then I could spend any 2 resources to get an upgrade, and I think I will do that because I still don't have any upgrades at all. I am a little bit worried about that rising water, so but also that pawn shop is not too bad. Let me think about that for a second. But what I'm going to do, again, I'm not like normally a crazy, you got to make change or have the whatever over here. But what I am going to do is, so you can keep track of where each player is, we'll go ahead and turn those in. And sure, let me think. I don't know. All 3 of these look like they could be good. But I don't know that I want to spend my whistles. I was really thinking about this one. I don't want to spend my whistles on this necessarily. And maybe I don't want to worry about my workers falling down, because maybe that's just going to happen anyway. It's going to start happening more quickly pretty soon. So maybe being able to turn in any 2 resources for 1 point. No, let's stick with the lifeboat. And that way I just don't have to stress it. If I do end up with a bunch of people down, then that'll be okay. Okay, so a new one is a stabilizer. I think when you build 2 scaffolds, I'll double check this. When you build 2 scaffolds, you gain 3 points. That would be great for the blue player to have. And I just realized I forgot to put these away a good while ago. So the red player is still stalling, waiting for the blue player to place their 3-piecer so I could get into that good spot. What would I do with this one? I've got 4 wild resources. I could really do anything that I wanted. What have I got here again? Rescue, bring back. Okay. It would be good to build that scaffold up higher, I suppose. So let's pack up some scaffold. Well, I don't have any water though. Do you know what I could do? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pick up 3 gold and a point. Let's see here. I'll make change for that here in just a second. We've got those golds. Didn't I rescue a worker at one point? Maybe I forgot. I don't know. Okay, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's use this. I've got all this gold. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and use this. No, I keep forgetting. That's why I didn't do that before. I'll hold on to the gold. I'm trying to get more scaffold up higher. Yeah. Sorry, I'll bring these back. And we'll call that a turn. Now blue is going to do what they're going to try to outsmart the red player. They're going to do what the red player did last time, and we're going to go ahead and forge. But they don't know that the red player has their callback card there. So they're going to think they're going to be sneaky, but they won't be. It's that whole thing where I'm trying to think of what each player knows. So let's bring these back. And we're going to go ahead and build. And we will move a worker. So we're going to be able to build twice. Oh, I love this lift. Where do I want this lift? Okay, here's what we're going to do. It's not going to be as many points as maybe we want, but we're going to go ahead and build these two things. And while we're at it, let me think. I got to grab 12 points because I'm going to forget otherwise. And where I'm going to be building this, I'm going to need 3 points. So here, I'll just do that. And then we will move a worker. And you can do these in any order. And here's why I say that. I'm going to build here. And I will bring a worker over. And then we're going to build right there. Sending both of these over here. And we'll gain this award. And I won't spend this award yet. I'm going to hold on to it. Yeah. All right. So that was that turn. Now the only problem with my amazing plan, because the blue player is expecting me to forge. The problem with it is I have so much gold here that I haven't spent because I've been delaying that. And that's a problem. But I still think it's worth it to keep the blue player away from that spot, really. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to use this card. And again, you could do that at any time. Sorry, I'm stuttering. And oh man, do I just come back here? Let's think. I could just come back here. I wouldn't be able to pick up those 2 gold. I would get a card, a whistle, an iron, and a coal, but I'd keep the blue player away from it. Alternatively, I could come up here. I could spend a card to use the lift, and I would gain a gold, which I couldn't use, and another gold, which I couldn't use, and 2 points and an iron. So where do I want to keep the blue player away? The blue player is likely to lift up to here to gain this award, which I want. I want that award. And they don't know that I could actually lift twice, because I could just, on my next turn, play that card again and come right back here. But I am still wasting those 2... I'm still wasting those 2 golds. I'm going to waste those 2 golds no matter what, because I haven't been spending them, because you spend gold to move your workers. And I haven't been forging. But in this super tight game, okay, let's go here. So I'm going to spend, no, do I want to spend a card? But in order for me to do that again, I'd have to have another good card to spend. Calling back, oh, this is killing me. Okay, no, this would get me my card. If I were to move back there, crap. Okay, we're gonna come down here. That's gonna get me a whistle. I'm not gonna be able to pick up the 2 gold, an iron, a coal, and a card. And, oh, good, blueprints. Okay, but I already spent a card this turn, so I can't do that now. And the blue player was kind of disappointed, but I think that they know that that other spot is, oh, but I need a card to use that lift. I need a card to use that lift. How do I get a card? Can I get a card? I could go here and get a card and 3 water, but then I'm not going to be able to use the lift. Well, what if I get a card and 2 water? Yeah, okay, let's do that. We're going to come down here, get a card. Okay, and 2 water. We're going to need water to build. All right, that was their turn. They think they're being smart. I don't know. I really am like trying to outthink this is like Princess Bride crap here. So I do think what we will do is we're going to use this card again at the beginning of the turn. And then while we're here, I'm going to discard this card. Oh no. I will annotate this. As soon as I built this machine up here, I should have raised the water level once, which would make all of this worthless. Crap. I totally forgot. How far back can I go in my brain? I can't. I don't think I can remember enough to record where I was. Dang it. Sorry, that was my fault. So what we're going to do, we're going to raise this once. And we're just going to pretend like it was raised right now because I don't know what else to do. I don't have a better plan. So we'll just keep going. So what we do is we just take one. We only had one machine built right above the water line. So we take one, and that's going to return this airship. It's also going to return this airship. So I wouldn't have needed to play that card. So I am going to bring this card back. But I'm still planning on using the lift. Oh man, you guys, I'm sorry. That was just a simple mistake. It happened so recently, but man, the consequences were huge. But we're gonna roll with it, doing what we need to do. But what I was gonna do was take this, put it here, discard this card in order to use the lift. For the lift, we're gonna move ourselves up one. And we don't have room for gold, but we'll get 2 points and an iron. And we still have, so the big difference here is that now I still have this card in my hand that I could use next turn as well. But I still don't have all that gold. Man, what am I doing to myself? I'm not thinking this through very well. So blue. Now, you can activate spaces by going, or machines by going next to them. So maybe what I should do is just put blue right here. Or, no, I can't hit all three of them. I could go here, activate this machine, so I could spend my card to move up the lift, which I really want to do to beat the to beat the red player to that spot, and gain an iron and a point. I think that's what we'll do this turn. So this was my card, which is a good one, but I've got enough resources. I don't know how soon I'll be emptying those out to activate the lift, move myself up. We're going to get this award. I'm going to go ahead and spend this award this turn in order to grab the stabilizer, because anytime I build 2 scaffolds on a turn, which I should do because I'm the riveter, then I'll get 3 more points. So I also needed 1 more point and another iron. And is it worth it to stay in the game? Okay, I'm going to hold on to that card. Let's just do our forge action just to finally do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab these. I don't have any water, which is fine. I don't even have anything to build. Maybe I should have done that. Should I have done that? Nope. I already pulled these off. I don't remember where they were. I probably should have done a build to get some scaffold, but I don't have any water. It's okay. Since I didn't put that water line up, I'm all thrown off. But I will go ahead and spend let's spend 2 gold so that I can open up those slots so I don't feel so what's the word where you're like lots of greedy? And we'll finally get this guy up here. It's not going to go as high up as I want it to, and I should have been building, so I could have put it up high. What I could have, should have. The choices here are so tough and so delicious. So that really was kind of a crappy forge action for the red player. That's okay. Now, I wish I had another card. I don't. I wish I had... I wish I also had a whistle, but I don't. But that's okay. I could still get 2 scaffolds. I can go get 1 scaffold for free and then 1 for my special ability. So let's start there. And don't love any of these that are on top. So which one's going to give me the most points? Oh, I want one of these. I also want to be able to reach up high, even if it's fewer points. So, maybe I want this one too because it's another whistle. Now, as we're thinking about the red player's turn, first of all, let's actually refill this while we're here. Ooh, okay, so it looks like you could pull an airship back for free, like at the end of your turn, you could pull a ship back. Oh, man, that's going to change what I was about to say, maybe. Well, what I was going to say is, after the malarkey with my mistake with the water rising, I actually I stopped recording because my brain was so flummoxed. And now I'm back at it the next day. And one thing I was thinking about until this showed up is the red player was stuck with all of those golds and nothing to do with them. That would be a perfect reason to have this pawn shop. But also that shuttle is pretty dang nice too. So my brain is moving me towards at least picking up the pawn shop to start off. I do have enough space for 2 more upgrades, so maybe I'll get both of those upgrades. But before I do that, one thing that I wanted to do was something I should have done for the blue player last turn. I just didn't see it until I, stepped back and then came back into it. So with the red player, there's this pretty amazing opportunity right here in this section, and also the blue player will be able to have it. But I'm going to go ahead and place myself right here, and that's going to allow me an iron, 2 points, a gold, and I could turn in a card to use the lift, which I think I want to do, and I could spend any 2 resources to gain an upgrade. Wahoo! So let's start with that stuff. So it was 2 points, a gold, an iron. Let's discard a card. I want to, well, if I'm going to get that other upgrade, maybe I don't need this at all. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and discard this in order to use the lift. Let's raise us up this way. And I should have, sorry, I did double check. This is after you use the air balloon, then you get to bring the air balloon back to your board at the end of the turn. So it's specific to the air balloon, not for any airship in general. So maybe it wasn't the best idea to do that one, the dispatcher, but whatever. And for the secret lab, let's spend, since these are all wild, man, I have a mess. I'm just going to go ahead and spend 2 iron. And that will let me pick up this upgrade, which is normally 3. And now we have an excess of pieces, which we likely will, especially considering almost all of them are wilds. That will help out a lot. So now I need to refresh this. And what this rapid loader says is that whenever you activate a machine, you gain a point. And given that we are putting ourselves... Oh, maybe I want this one and not the shuttle. Okay, well, the reason why I'm saying that right now is we got an upgrade, so we get to activate a machine. And that rapid loader is leading me to think, let's use the secret lab again and grab that rapid loader. So I'm going to go ahead and spend this iron and might as well get rid of this coal. And with those out of the way, we'll go ahead and grab this, which, yes, is going to allow us to use this again. And so I don't forget, because we're activating a machine, let me grab the 1 point that will give us for doing that. Here, oh, we can make, oh, Nelly, wait, we can make some change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of that. Replenish. The duplicator. All right, so what the duplicator does is if you have, you could spend a whistle to move the duplicator. And essentially, if you are in possession of the duplicator machine, so like if you have the upgrade, this token goes on the special ability of another player, and you get to use that special ability. So that's awesome, and maybe the blue player wants to consider this. The red player is all out of space for upgrades. They do have the option of, like, maybe if we were able to activate this machine, trading one of our upgrades in the market, but for now I'm pretty happy with what we've got. But we do need to activate another machine. I wonder, is it worth activating the lift? If I were to activate the lift, I could discard this card. No, do you know what I should do before I do that? Let's use this card. I haven't used a card this turn, I don't think. No, I haven't. I just discarded one. I'm going to discard this card in order to, so I'm using that card to get 2 fresh cards, okay? And, oh, this was the bump one I was talking about earlier. So you could send out your airship and bump somebody else back to their spot. But what I think I want to do is, let's activate the lift. So I'm going to discard this card, and that will let me move a worker up. And this is so funny. I mean, this red player is really good at comboing things. That's going to gain us this award, which will let us activate an active machine, which in turn for us is going to gain us another point. So That's cool. I think I did get my one for that. Yeah. Do I want to do that right now? Well, do you know what? Yes. Let's do it. Let's just do it. We're having fun. So I'm going to go ahead and use this award because I haven't used an award yet this turn, even though we've done a million things. And I'm going to activate a machine, so I'm going to gain a point for activating a machine. I will just discard this card to activate the lift again, send myself up, gain this award. I can't use this award this turn because I've already done one this turn. The blue player is so bugged with me, and that's fair and fine. I don't have any more cards, and I think that ends the turn. How much of a nightmare? I don't even know how many mistakes I may have made in there, but I think I caught everything as I was going. So that was pretty overwhelming for the blue player to watch, but what they're going to do is they're going to send their airship to this equally great, oh my gosh, 2 spot here, which will get them all of the same things. One of the negative things that I want to say about this game that I'm going to try to remember to say at the end is I don't like just the nature of it, that you're actually physically covering things up, because then you can't see exactly what you're getting. It's not that big of a deal because you can just lift them, but that is one thing that's a little bit frustrating. So that was 2 points, a gold and iron. I could use the lift, but I don't have any cards, and I could spend 2 to gain a what's that called? An upgrade. I am planning on doing that, so let me just, while we're here, grab the duplicator. And we'll replace it with the tower crane. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna want to do that. This basically means that you can spend a scaffold from your player area to do a build action. Okay, so we gained this, and what was I doing? Oh, I needed a gold, an iron, 2 points, and I couldn't use the lift. But then I need to spend 2 resources to get that duplicator. Any resources? Let's spend an iron and a coal to get the duplicator. I could spend a whistle to move the duplicator out, but I would have to get whistles first for that, obviously. Let's think. Oh, nobody even owns any machines right now. I guess the water's not going to quite rise. But I wanted to get the scaffold up higher before I use this. So I'll save this for my next turn, I think. Okay, the red player has got to get some stuff. We've got to get scaffolding and or machines being built. Both will be good and important. I guess I could do both while we're at it. So let's start off with scaffolds. I'm going to spend 2 whistles. Oh man, at some point I'm going to need some water. How do I do that? I might take that back. Let's try to get some water. I think the best way to do that... Oh, no, I can't go on the scaffold. I was thinking right here. But no, I can't be on the scaffold. I can't go here because it's waterlogged. So I could only really go here, which I know is kind of... It's a waste of a big piece of machine, but that's 3 waters, and I'm going to need the waters if I get the scaffolds to build. So yeah, we'll do that. And since we've had a lot of success with these, I'm going to spend this award in order to pick up a card. And this looks like you could discard a scaffold in order to get the 2 resources on it. If I remember correctly from doing this before, I think that's scaffold from a pile, like from the board. And yeah, that's exactly what you would do. You would pick one of the top scaffold pieces, gain the 2 resources, and then move that top piece to the bottom. I guess I could do that now. I don't see a reason to hold off on that, so I will do that. Let's gain a gold. We're going to gain a gold and an iron, and then we just move this one to the bottom. And I don't know that there's any rush to turning these things in for points, but I'll keep that in mind. So I went ahead and used that card. Okay, let's go ahead and do our forge action. And okay, so we can build all 3 of these, and we can move 2 people, because I can also use this, and we'll try to get as high up as we can. There's only 1 award left, but it's also worth getting those workers up high because they're worth more points. You know what I'm saying? So let's think. How do we utilize this to the best of our abilities? Let me think. Yeah, okay. I don't think I said this explicitly, but the machines have to 100% be on top of the scaffolds. You can't have any holes underneath it. Okay, so we want to do this intelligently. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4 piece space. That seems pretty good. And then we could do this one. I wanted to get it up higher. Do we just go a little goofy with it? 1, 2, 3. So I did a 4 piece. I mean, if I really wanted to maximize points, I could come down this way. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's not really pushing us upward. But that would be 5. Plus the other 4, we're up to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's do that. Yeah. So that'll be 14 points, but also let's grab these. And again, more than anything, the higher up, there are going to be points over here. That award is just a whistle, so wahoo. So let's think. We got 14 coming in. So why am I overthinking this? 10 more coming in, then I'll turn in these 6 to grab another 10. And I'll actually remember to get rid of those. Now, do I want a machine or scaffold? I think I want some scaffolds. So I'm going to spend 2 whistles and this in order to pick up some scaffolds. I can get 3. And at this point, I hardly care what they are because it's just about fitting the pieces. I've got so many wild resources, so probably 1. And if I end up planning on putting this one here, is that what I would plan? Oh, maybe I want that shape. Okay. So again, I'm just kind of trying to think this through for when I actually do the build action. Could do, and we'll do one of these. Yeah, we'll do one of each. How about that? And I think that might be the end of their turn, unless I wanted to turn some stuff in. But let's hold on to that stuff, make sure, well, we've got enough to build. We have 1 gold. So if I were to keep those 2 waters and send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 1, 2, is that worth 3 points? Ooh. I guess let's wait till we're out of space. When we're out of space, like we were that one time, then we'll do it. That'll be the plan. Okay, I'd love to get this alpha site machine out there for the blue player. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is let's go buy it. It's the one that you could spend a water and a gold in order to move a worker and do a build action. Oh, and I forgot because I built 2 scaffolds at least, so I got 3 points for that. I'll try to remember to annotate that. And I don't have a whistle, but I would love to get that duplicator out since I have it, but it also is 6 points, so that's good. So I have this. I just need to refill. Oh, I think this is you draw 3, pick 1, discard the others. So what I'm trying to think about is I would love to get this thing built and then be able to use it. And so I probably want more scaffolds at the very least, and that will give me the 3 points too. Oi, it is getting pretty tough to keep track of everything, FYI. I think we are in a good place where we should just go ahead and do our recall action. I guess technically it's forge action, whatever, you know what I mean. And we will spend 1 gold to move and 2 waters to build a total of 3 things. Let's go get these things out there. What did I decide last time? I think we wanted to start here. That was 4 points. And then if we do this one for another 4, we're up to 8. And then we could do this one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 13 points worth of building. Let's bring 1 worker out and we'll put them here. Yeah, that seems okay. And again, just so we can have an easier time keeping track, let's go ahead and swap these out for the 50. And that brings us to blue. There is a pretty good whistle opportunity. And it could get me another iron and a coal, which would be great if I'm trying to get more machines, which I would love. I also want scaffold. Okay. Well, I was thinking about going right here, but I don't have a card. I wouldn't use the lift necessarily, but that could get me the whistle and a coal and an iron. But I could get those things just as easily coming here. I'm not sure if there's a pro or a con to not being able to utilize that right now. I don't know. Only thing I could think of is blocking the red player, but the red player doesn't even have a card, so maybe I don't need to worry about that all too much. But for now, we've got these here. And I'm trying to think, did I build? No, I didn't build a machine and forget to get the points. I built scaffold last time. Okay, we're on track. We're doing all right. I don't know why I put these like that. I was probably distracted. Okay, next, what was the red player focusing on? Probably activating machines and getting a bunch of resources, which means I think I want to send... Oh, I want cards, though. If I can get cards, I could use that lift. So maybe that's my very first thing. Oh, these need to be gone. My very first step is let's spend 2 resources. So I'll spend these 2 and send the air balloon up here to get some cards. 1, 2, 3. Draw 3, keep 1. Spend a gold to do. Oh, or a free lift. I like that free lift. Should we do that now? Let's do that now while we're here. Okay, we're going to use the lift to use this. I'll use that award because it's the first time this round to gain this. And that guy is going to be worth 10 points, so that's excellent. And we will be ready to use the lift again. Let's start bringing some of our other friends up higher. That'll be a good objective for next time. All right, let's go get some scaffolds. I can get 2 for my whistle plus an additional 1. Gosh, we are building up high enough that it's hard to know exactly what the best ones are. I'm thinking, I don't know. If we put 1 here, because that would be 3, or maybe this would be good. And then 1 like that. And then another one like that. Sure. I don't know. It's to the point where I'm not sure how much of a difference that will all make. So we'll grab these. Something I did not consider. Oh, that was stupid of me. I need water to be able to build stuff. I need water. I should have gotten some water. But I didn't. Dang it. Okay. That's all right. We can make mistakes. Okay, now what we were going to do is go take that mega spot. This one right here or here. That will get us an iron, a gold, 2 points. I'm not going to get any more upgrades because I'm full up, but I could discard a card to move up a lift. And for every machine that we're activating, we're going to gain a point. So we just activated 4 machines, which means 4 points in addition to the other 2. So let me bring back 6 points. Oh, and we will keep making change. Apparently I needed to do this on camera instead of thinking about it beforehand. And then it was an iron and a gold. And move up the lift. Those lifts are points. Yeah, let's discard this one in order to move up the lift. It wouldn't matter which one we send, I don't think, because it's just 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it's just 1 more point per thing. So whatever. And then I will play this card to draw 3 and keep 1. Spend 2 resources. Okay, so I don't need that one. This would get me a scaffold for free, which would be excellent. I need that because I want to be able to build next turn. So I'll keep that. This one, you would just spend the normal resources, but well, almost. It's 3 coal and 2 iron instead of 3 iron and 2 coal to get a large machine. But as I mentioned, well, do I want that? 5 resources? No. We're okay. I don't think. I don't know. Okay, so we'll use that next time. And foolishly, without water, the blue player is going to go ahead and forge. So here we go. I think let's get this one built. And I want to put it, I believe, right here, because look at all of the whistles that opens up for the blue player. If I were to come here, like here, I could get 2 whistles. That's excellent. These guys were here, so they slide over to those spots. And I don't even have any gold. Yeah, I did not plan well for that, and I didn't get to use my stabilizer because I didn't build 2 scaffolds. Next time. So we have enough, because these are wilds. We can do what we need to do if I have the stuff to do it. So first thing is, I'm going to go ahead and play this one in order to, I'm just going to grab, we're down to 3 of these. We're going to grab this one. So I could build that for free. Can I get another water? Do I get, I would love to make another machine. Here's what I was thinking about. I could pull a worker up here or slide them up and then build another 2x3, one of these. So do I get one of those? If I get one of those machines, I don't have the ability to build it because I don't have the water. Oh, I do have the water because I have the, oh yeah. I do have the water because I have the, it's wild resources that I have. So I think I'm going to come over here. Which ones do I care about? Probably the archives. So that cost 3 iron. And we will, like I said, these are wild resources, so we should be ready to build those. Oh, and because I grabbed a machine, I get another card. A mystery upgrade. I'm going to guess that this is you spend a gold and grab the top upgrade from the pile. Yep, that's exactly what that says. Sorry, right, where is it? Oh my gosh, mystery upgrade, spend 1 gold to gain the top face down upgrade from the market. So we're good there. But we need to do this, and of course I forgot on the blue player's turn, but at least it was less consequential this time. We did build up here above the water, or above the danger zone, so we do need to flood one more time. And remember, the game trigger is when there are no more workers over here. However that happens. It doesn't have to be the water line coming up. All right, I don't know if I want the 2 or the 3-piece one. Oh, and I don't have water. I need water and gold. Okay, I guess for my first move, what I'm going to do is we're going to go right here, and that will get me 3 water and a gold, and then I'll come over here and utilize that. Okay, we're going to do a forge action. Don't need this, so I can use that to discard later on. So when we do the forge action, I'm going to spend 1 of these to move a worker, and 1 water. So 1 of these for worker, 1 of these for water, so I can get both of these built. And maybe, do I go here? That would be 4 points versus 3. Sure, let's do that. So I'm going to build here, and I'm going to move a worker here, and then I'm going to build this. So that was 4 points, and then I'm going to build this thing here, sliding these over. And that's going to be another 12. So 16 points for that. And why do I have a whistle right here? I don't think I know. I don't know why that's there. But that does move the water line back, and that's going to send that ship back to blue. I would love for blue to get points just for building a machine. Like, that's a lot of points if you can build a good machine. So my thought is, I've got this here. I've got all of the makings here. I'm just wondering if I need to have a machine that I can build first. You know what I'm saying? So what if I send this over? I've got everything I need to build a big machine. I don't really have a great place for it to be built right now. But I just realized I forgot to pull all the red machines back. I'm thinking of going here. My brain is so ski-wampus right now because we did the forge action. The tricky part is having a good place to build. Now, I could build here. I want a big machine, but if I build a big machine, it would either have to go down here or up here. But once I build it, it doesn't matter. So what I think I'll do is this one is worth the most points. So I think I'm going to take this one back. We're going to buy that one. It's 10 points. Here's a transmographer. Discard a card to gain a whistle and 5 points. That's excellent. So we are going to collect this one. And what did that cost? That cost 3 iron and 2 coal. So for the red player, the amazing spot isn't as amazing anymore because one of the machines is partially submerged. But they are pretty low on resources, and yeah, we're low on resources, and we could use the lift because I have a card in my hand that I don't really like. So how do I get the most? Oh man, do I go? Oh man, that would get me 4 gold and a point, plus another point for one machine being activated. But if I go over here, it's 1 gold, 1 point, no, so 2 points, a steel, a gold, a lift, plus I'd be activating 3 machines, so 3 points, so 5 points altogether, plus moving up the lift is a 6th point. Yeah, in fact, let's do that. I'm gonna put myself right here, and I will discard the card in a second, but let's just keep moving ourselves up. Here's my 5 points, my gold, and my iron. Okay, I think the blue player is ready to do their move. Let's take... Which one do I want to take? Let's go look. Some good options are 3 here. That would let me do this, and collect 1 whistle and 1 gold. 3 down here would just let me activate this machine, but pick up 2 whistles, 2 coals, and an iron. That would be excellent. Or if I were to go sideways, I could utilize both machines, get a steel and a whistle, both machines and a coal, just 1 machine, 2 whistles and a gold. That also seems like a great plan. I think the winner is going to be this one. So I'm going to spend a water and a gold to do a move action and a build action. Let's do the move action now because we can get this guy here right where we're about to build. Where am I going to build? I want to get him up higher. There. So that was a water and a gold to build. Now I am going to build here. Mostly I'm just trying to get this guy up as high as possible. This one will come over. This goes here. Part of it is being built above the railroad, so we are going to flood one more time. But then I need to pick up my 2 whistles, 2 coals, and a steel. Plus 10 points. So we'll change these out again for another 50. You could see quite a high scoring game in general. I think you're usually going to be near 100 or above 100 if you do your thing right. Okay, that was that. And I have my 3 scaffolds ready to build when I want to do that. All right, we've got to prepare ourselves so that we can build. Building gets you points. We also are pretty close to the end of the game. How do I maximize that? Is it through scaffolds? I'm going to need water for sure. But also I love getting all those points from just using the building. So I think what I'm going to do is this. First of all, I need to remember I have wild resources, so I do have water. I'm going to come here because that'll be 2 points plus the 3 points because I'm going to activate the 3 machines, plus a gold and a steel. And oh, did I discard the card for the lift last time? I don't think so. I meant to. So I'll discard that. Yeah. So 5 points, steel and gold. I've got to get stuff to build next time though. Okay, probably want at least 1 gold. It would be nice if I could save this worker and bring them up way up high just in case something else gets built. Do you know what? I haven't used this game at all. I still am probably not going to, but I haven't used the whirlpool saving action, really. Do I need, like, is that the thing to do instead of just moving with the gold? I don't know what the right thing to do is. I mean, I could put my 2-piece here, get a whistle and a gold, and oops, be able to activate both of these machines. That would be fun. Let's do that. Okay, so let's start by drawing 3 and discarding 1. Or what? Keeping 1. Oh, that's all spending gold to build. Spend gold, 1 gold to save a worker. That could be useful from the whirlpool. Or spend a gold to build. That's going to be 5 points. Okay. I don't know. I feel like I have the building opportunities I need. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this card. And we're going to grab a gold and a whistle. And yeah. All right. I think we're okay. I'm just trying to decide. Yeah, let's spend a water. Let's spend 2 whistles. That'll be my water and my gold. To move somebody and build. Am I doing that? Why am I? I'm going to be able to build for a water. But to move somebody too, that's pretty fancy. I don't know that I'm cut out for these tough choices. All right, let's start by moving this person here. And then we're going to try to set ourselves up. This would be 4 points by putting that there. And I guess while we're at it, we're just so, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and spend my gold. I still have a whistle if I need it, to bring my whirlpool guy up here. Oh, but this guy doesn't have, minus 5 points. He's not worth minus 5 points at all. So why did I do that? Because I have remember I have this lifeboat where he's just not worth any points. That was probably dumb. That's okay. And let's go get some airships. What? Let's go get some scaffolds. Yeah, I will spend 2 whistles in order to get 3. And we'll get 1 of each again, just because I'm so tired. I don't know that I have the brain power to do more. Because I can use, these are wild, so I can utilize that to get these built to get me points. Yeah. All right, the blue player's going to do their foraging action, but I've only got 2 things to build, and I'll use a whistle to move my character. We really are here at the end of the game, I think. So we'll take these over. The reason I say we're at the end is, look, only 1 more meeple here. Basically what happens is when the last one is removed, that player finishes their turn and every other player will get to do 1 more turn. So let's get this thing built up. I think we'll go this way. That will be 4. And then we'll go this way. That'll be another 4. Oh, let's flip it though. And put this guy here. Not that it'll matter. More likely right there. So that was 8 points worth of building. If I could get a machine, slide those guys over, that would be 19 points. Ooh. It depends on what red does, if I have time to do that or not. So they are also going to, do you know what I didn't do? Clear off the airships. So here's this one, and then these, I'm just going to go ahead and put them over. And then we got these ones. What a mess I've got over here. Let's do a little bit of cleanup. Okay, so I've got 3 things, and these act as wilds, plus I can move my last character over, so let's do that. I don't see that blue has any way to build a machine to slide those over, because they wouldn't be able to pick up a machine and build it at the same time. Oh, but I just realized, oh my gosh, so many things to forget. I just realized that the blue forgot to get their 3 points for their stabilizer. So let me take care of that. 1, 2, 3. I'm just doing it off camera. All right, maximizing points here. I think first thing we would do, how do you piece these in here to get points? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4. Or that would be 5. 1, 2, wait, 1, 2, 3. No, that's 4. So that was 4. This would be 4, and then I could go like this for another 4. I guess. Sure. 12 points. And, oh, almost enough to make that happen. But we are also going to go ahead and grab him, put him here. And that triggers the end of the game. Red player triggered it, so blue player gets one more turn. Not exactly sure what they can do to get them points. I guess they could get an upgrade. No, we don't have enough. We've only got 3 coal. The upgrades are 3 iron, or 2 whistles, or 2 water, so I can't do that. I only have enough to get a small machine, but those aren't really worth, it's like worth 1 point for being back. I guess let's try to get some resources. That would also just be a point. I don't have a machine to build. It's not a lot of points, but it is 2 points to go here. So 2 points, a gold, 2 golds, and an iron. And sure, I'm making a mess. But that triggers the end of the game. So now what happens is we need to do final scoring. So final scoring is described back here. I think I showed you that earlier. And basically we need to get points for the meeples on the ladder. We would lose points for being in the whirlpool. We need to score points for each of these machines, add them to all of that. Plus, we're going to get points for anything left over in our player area. 1 point per machine, 1 point per award, 1 point for every 2 scaffolds, 1 point for every 2 cards, and 1 point for every 4 resources. So let's just take care of these things really fast. So for example, that's 4, 4, so we got 2 more points. I'm just going to take stars and add them here. And then what else do we need to do? Oh, let's go look at who's on the ladder. So over on the ladder, we've got 1 plus 12 is 13, 20. Plus another 16 is 36. So let's see, take 4 points and we'll turn that into 40, turn that into a 50. Plus we've got these points here. So this is another 10. So that's 10 and another 5. Okay, so these ended up at 150, 160, 170, 174 for the blue player. And let's see what we've got going on over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be 1 point. Let me grab that so I don't forget. Flip that over. Okay, so let's figure out who's on the ladder. 10, 19, 27, 34, 44, plus another 8 is 52. I told you don't count them out because there's a 50 plus we've got 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's another 50. Grab that. Plus they have all of these upgrades. So what have we got? Here's another 10. Oh my gosh, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Wait a second. I legit for sure thought that the red player had this. What is that? That's 150, 160, 169 to blue's 174. Now I am sure I have mistakes out there, like without a doubt. There was so much tracking and happening, like it was kind of a mess. But what a freaking game that was. So let's get the negatives out of the way. I kind of already mentioned them. For me, the 2 biggest negatives for this game are when you're sitting at the table, you can't always see stuff. I talk about this in the setup video, which is when these are all stacked up high, if you're sitting on this side of the table, you really can't see the first row and a half of things going on over here. So that's super annoying. The other annoying thing is your ships, as fun as this part is, your ships really do block. Look, you can't even see what this one does over here at all. So that's pretty frustrating too. And the iconography is good, but it could be better. So as you saw before, knowing which machines you can activate at a certain time, that's kind of tricky. The cards on the icons, like you can usually get a really close guess on exactly what everything does, but often you're going to need to tweak your thinking just a little bit And it's cool that they list everything in the rule book, but and I don't know. I would say that maybe they were trying to keep this language independent, but they have names of everything. Like there is English words on here. So where there's space on these large machines, I really wish they had pushed the icons up and maybe put a small descriptor here, especially on the cards. There's plenty of space for descriptions on the cards over there. Even on the starting abilities, I mean, you've got space. I wish that they had utilized that. We got all this space right here. Just put a description. So while there's okay iconography, I think that could have been better. I wish they would put descriptors. And I don't know how to fix the where you're sitting issue other than to remember what stuff is happening and to pull those up and look at this. And I talk about this in the setup video. They really, really needed an insert for this thing. Like I put in, I don't even know, 30 hours worth of work to build my own insert just to make it feel playable. That was a lot. Bad things out of the way. This game has so much stuff that I love in a game. I love the Tetris style piece games. I just like, because I love puzzles. So I like that, and I love the way that it's, I want to say narrated, but that doesn't make sense. I like the way that they really encourage you to interlock these as closely together as possible, because you get 1 point for each touching side section. So I love the Tetris part. I love the way that this is a worker placement game, but not in the traditional sense. Sure, we have the traditional type worker placements around the board, but this part in here is super fun. It's really fun that you get to build your own worker placement spaces, not only around the edges, but also here in the middle. That's such a fun aspect to me. The other thing that's really neat is, so I played this game twice before this. One was just kind of like a learning the rules type of a thing, and the other was like a practice to get ready for this. And they felt super different because of the different machines and the different starting abilities and the different upgrades that had come up. So it really is a different puzzle each time you play. And heck, even the placement of the machines makes things so different. Now, I didn't in this game, and I probably should have said it, but you can also turn these things. Like, they don't have to be in one direction. I just happen to see things that way. But, oh man, I really like this game a lot. I think this is a game that I want to keep around for a little while and play some more, just because the puzzleness aspect of it is the type of puzzle that I like the most. So yeah, big thumbs up for me. A few things that I wish were tweaked here and there, as I already described, but for the most part, I really, really like what this game has to offer and what it has going. Anyway, I hope that this video was helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the mistakes. I'll talk to you later. Bye.